Hi guys, here with your history lesson for today. So we're looking at what we can discover from archaeological finds from the Viking Age period. So we're going to think about what they tell us, what they can show us, and what we can learn from them about Viking Age life. So we know from our work on Anglo-Saxon Britain that much of what we know is because of archaeologists. And now we need to remember that an archaeologist is someone that sees archaeology and their job is to dig, find artifacts, understand them and study them, and then to help us develop our understanding of that particular time period that they're looking at. So we've got an image here of an extremely big archaeological dig. They've gone so deep, they've had to put reinforcing around the holes that they've dug in order to check out what's in there. So in 1976, the Coppergate area of York was excavated by the archaeologist Richard Hall and his team. The artifacts they found helped us to understand much about the daily lives of Vikings in Britain. Following the dig, the Jorvik Viking Centre was built and opened its doors to the public in 1984. Here they try to bring the Viking Age to life with life-sized model exhibits. Now, I have been here. They've done such a good job of recreating the life. They've even had a go at recreating what it smelt like. And I can assure you some of the bits in that exhibition are pretty stinky, but it just gives you a really good understanding. So if you get the opportunity to go there once all this COVID and everything is sorted out and we're back to something a bit more normal, ever get the opportunity to go, take it. It's a fantastic place to go and it will just bring everything that we're teaching you, really bring it to life for you, and you'll be able to see how it all fits together. So they're trying to bring Viking life. So you can see them here. You've got a blacksmith, I think this is, sharpening knives. He's got an apprentice with him. So the way skills were passed down, the master craftsman, so the gentleman sitting on our left, would teach the young boy, the apprentice, this is how we make a knife. This is how we sharpen a knife. This is how we do all the various bits and pieces that were part of his job in the village. And you have this master and apprentice cycle going through. We've got weaving and horn use, so how turning animal products into useful products they can use around the village. So they really did believe in using every part of the animal because every part of the animal had a use. You could use the hides or the skin to make your clothes. You can use the horns. There's probably seen famous pictures of horns for drinking out of, battle horns for playing notes for music. They could make string out of the tendons. They could eat the meat that came off the animal. They wasted very, very little. So Viking tools and weapons. Now, these are the things that the archaeologists found during their dig. So we've got knives, a seax. So as a knife that was worn on the belt and could be used as an everyday tool or as a weapon. And we touched on this with our English, with our key text. We're looking at Anglo-Saxons and we were talking about different types of people and how you had the ready army, the people that would just be called up to go and fight. They take what they had. So if you had something like a seax, knife you carry every day, you use it for all the things, general things. So you're cooking, you're killing animals to make your meat, cutting the meat, sorting out the animal to make your clothes, and all the various other bits and pieces. And it can be used as a weapon as well. I've got a small hand axe here. So ideal for cutting wood and large pieces of meat, cutting through bone as well, because in the middle of bones, there's nutritious marrow, which would have been used in some of their cooking. But again, it doubles as a really useful weapon. If you haven't got dedicated weapons, you use the tools that you've got. So a shield here to give protection from sharp objects like swords or axes. So it gives you something to hide behind. It would protect you from your head to your waist. And it'd be quite heavy, quite solid and designed so that you could protect yourself with it. It also works really well as a weapon. You can use it to charge at someone and protect yourself from their attack and actually give them quite a big hit. You can use the edge of the shield almost the same way as a sword. You can swing it, you can use that edge to knock someone unconscious. In a battle, that's a good thing. If they're lying on the floor, they're not going to be able to get you. We've got a single-handed spear. So this is a spear that's designed to be held in one hand. So it's a little bit shorter. It's probably about my shoulder height, so about 5.5 feet. It gave you a bit of extra reach in battle. So if you're hiding behind your shield and someone's coming at you with a sword, which may only be the length of their arm, you've got this extra bit of reach. You can keep them away from you. You can do them damage while they can't get anywhere near you. We've got chainmail. So this gives you protection from sharp object attacks, such as swords. Now, this was very expensive to make because it's lots and lots of little rings that have to be forged by hand. So they have to make out of the metal a wire, turn it into circles, and then link all those circles together and make enough of them and link enough of them together in order to make something like this. This is hours and hours and hours of very expensive, labor-intensive work for a blacksmith. So the people that would have had chainmail would have been the upper classes, your fighting men who were trained as fighters, not your everyday soldier. Again, helmet, as previously mentioned, there are no horns. You can see from this one, it protects a lot more of the face as well. And it's got a big open eye space so you can see what you're fighting off. So the helmets varied in design, but they often extended beyond the top of the head, protecting the nose and the cheeks or the sides of your head. If you think about it, if you're going to try and get someone and they're protecting the top bit of their head to here, you're going to try and hit them somewhere here where you can do them damage, you can take them out of the fight. So the designs of helmets have changed over the years and they've had different purposes. But again, the basic purpose is to provide protection. And again, as I've already said, there were definitely no horns on them. A sword. So this was an expensive weapon used only by the best warriors. Most Vikings would use other tools as weapons. So as we said, we had the sayax, the knife that lived on their belt, their axe, a short, simple spear, which is a piece of wood with a metal point on the end of it. In some instances, it would literally have been a sharpened stick that they would have used as a spear, rather than going to the expense of having someone make a metal point, which in the middle of a battle could easily get lost. So if you've got a reasonably straight stick, you can put a point on it and you can use that in battle. So many swords were passed down through the family. So it would be passed from father to son. And the big ceremony that like the son would become the man of the family and would take on the sword, because they're so expensive to make. The amount of craftsmanship that went into Viking style swords. If you ever get the chance, there is some videos on YouTube that are worth watching just to understand the process that goes into making these amazing pieces of metalcraft. So Viking artifacts. So we've talked about the tools, we've talked about the weapons. The dig at York also revealed more than just weapons. So your challenge today, you're going to become amateur archaeologists. You're going to try and find out what some of these objects are. So on the next screen, there are 6 items that were found at Jorvik. Now, Jorvik is the Viking name for York. So I want you to tell me the following things. What you think they are, what you think they might be made of, and what you think they're used for. So pause a second here, write these 3 questions down, and then when you're ready, I'll show you what we're looking for. Right, are you ready to see the images? So our first one here, what could it be? Second one, third one, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Now, some of these, they might look very obvious as to what they are. And if you think you're confident on what it is, brilliant, write it down. What was it used for? The other ones, you might need to do a bit of research. So have a look for the Jorvik Viking Centre's website. I'm fairly certain you might be able to find some of these on there and you'll be able to tell me what they are. I look forward to seeing what you found on Tapestry. And as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon.